Construction trailer delivery to the logistics center in Zherbai Quarries. Hello there everybody and welcome to Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. Today we are in SnowRunner. We are driving our trusty Avonhorn A15 and we're in the wrong place task, which is part of the KAZ Minerals PLC contract. Now we're going to do our best to deliver this construction rig semi-trailer all the way to the top. We're at the bottom of the quarries and it's really big. I mean, we got to go around the outside, round and round and round until we get to the top. Now, I hope I picked the right truck for the job. As you can see, the trailer is quite big and we're really going to have to worry about the off-track, which is the reason why I picked the Avonhorn A15, because it's such a short truck. You know, the Plaid, which is also very capable, or even the Zigzag and the Kenworth, they're all longer frames. So I figured I'd take the Avonhorn from the Dragon Wagon pack and equip it with a maintenance module in the back that has an extra 300 liters worth of fuel. Now we've got a tank that's 400 liters, and then we got another 160 liters on bumper. So by my count, that's 3 and 4 is 7, and 160 is 860 liters total fuel capacity for this truck. Now that's quite a bit, but we need it because he gets pretty thirsty at times, and all the way up right from the get-go, it's a long laboring drag on the motor. As you can see, with the fuel usage per minute, quickly jumps up to 24 liters. So it's going to need all the fuel we can get. Now we go around the outside, obviously is the only way we're going to get up, but we still got to keep an eye out for exactly where we're driving. Like I said, with the off track, you got to go as wide as you can. And then you got to look for places such as right in front of us there where there's step-ups on the blocks, which is part of the old quarry. That's your road that you got to drive on. Now, a little tough in spots, but this is still easy. It's going to get harder. Up ahead here is a little bit more of a steeper climb. And it seems the higher we get, the climbs get bigger and bigger in each little stage like this. Now, you don't have a lot of room, so you got to try and go as far to the left as possible so that the trailer will get through the hole there too and isn't dragging on the stone. But I turned it a little bit too tight and hit the rock, and he won't go through the rock. So you're going to have to back it up a little and then go forward and hope that you're far enough over still that the back end of the trailer can slip by the other side. There we go. Just barely. Sure swaying back and forth a lot though, I'll tell you. And it looks like an old fuel trailer up ahead there on the left, which I'm sure we'll have to rescue at one point or another. Not today. We got a big job that we're working on right now. This construction rig semi-trailer sways from side to side like you wouldn't believe. It's really unnerving when you're driving it. You don't want to lose it if it tips a little bit too far to one side. It will flip you and the trailer over together. So we don't want to have that happen. Now over here up ahead, I could have gone over top, and I decided against it. I decided to go around it, and I was keeping my fingers crossed that I made the right choice, because the turn there again, as you turn back in, it gets pretty sharp. You know, and you got to worry about the back end of the trailer. That's the part that's going to hit or drag along the side of the rock, and if that happens, then you're stuck. And there's no place to winch anywhere here. So just remember that. Got to try and take the most optimum route for your truck so that your trailer doesn't get hooked on anything. But that's just common sense. Everybody knows that, except for the Opafed at times, as you will find out. And as we're coming up here, it gets a little bit wider and a little bit easier to navigate the terrain. There's some places that are just really nice just to drive through. The trailer just kind of gently sways from side to side behind the truck as you're making slow but regular process. And we're continuing to advance to the top. Now here again, the route dictates which way you have to drive, so it has to be able to go through there, right? You would think. Now look up ahead there. There is quite a new climb. That seems pretty steep to me. But we got no choice. We're in it now. We're in it to win it now. We have to go, and the only way we can go is forward. So that's one big trailer. I've moved a few of these throughout the season passes and the regions. There's been a few that have to been done, but never one as difficult as this mission. I mean, this mission has 2 degrees of difficulty. One where you got to get it out of the quarry. The second one where you got to get it to the logistics center. But quarry problems first. Now this is pretty steep here coming up. And there again, it turns as you go up. So we just got to try and take it as wide as we can and just hope for the best. Now the Avonhorn is a pretty capable truck. Very, very powerful. I think I picked the right truck for the job. Not that the other ones could have done it, but I don't know. I would have probably had a harder time trying to make the turns around the corners. So this is probably for the best that we took the Avonhorn. Like I said before, the Avonhorn and the Plaid are 2 very, very capable trucks, and they are number 1 when you're driving in a region like Allure where there's nothing but snow and ice everywhere. And in territory like this, the Kenworth 963 is the top one again because he has a 3-slot cargo bed on the back. But none of them carry as much fuel as the Avonhorn. So we got 3 top trucks as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter where you go. All 3 of them are in your garage, and when the job calls for one, you take the one. If the job calls for the other one, then you take the other one. Now as we're coming along here, we're going to have another little pretty steep climb coming up. But take the turn a little bit wider so you can line the trailer up a little bit before you get to where you got to go. And yeah, we're getting there slowly. Boy, I tell you, this was one awesome tilt. I love this delivery. Yeah, there's going to be lots more because we're in the Almaty region on the Zherbai Quarries map, the only map in the Almaty region, and we've only just begun. We've only been here for a short while. We got a few jobs done, but we got lots more to go. So I hope to be getting some of those and sharing them with you, the ones that are looking the most interesting. You know, as we're coming down here, now we got to go underneath the pipe. Wow, I tell you, this game just blows me away every time I play it. The graphics are fantastic and the gameplay is great. And the puzzles, I love the way they put the game together. So as we're coming up here, there's going to be another right ahead. You can't quite see it yet. It's just at the end there on the top right hand corner. It's a pretty steep climb. And there again, when it's the only way out, you have to pretty well, you know, across the width of where you can climb up. There's good areas and bad areas, and you just gotta pick one and keep your fingers crossed and hope you pick the right one. We're gonna find that out in a minute. As we're coming up around the bend here, right straight in front of you. I thought it was a wall at first when I first came up. But then the closer you get, you can see it's kind of like a stepping stone road, I guess, if you want to call it that. It looks pretty steep to me. I don't know. But there's no other place to go. You can't, if you go to the right, that stops. It gets narrower and narrower and it stops. So we're not going to do that. We have to try this one. But boy, I tell you, it looks really tough and it looks too steep. But there again, if it's too steep, just around the corner at the top, I've got the Kenworth is sitting there, the Kenworth 963. And if it's too steep, he could always come down and help pull the Avonhorn from the front, and then they'll have the 2 trucks pulling on the trailer. So there's always that I can do. Now the Kenworth is there from a previous mission that cleared a rock slide for me to go down into the quarry. That's why I just left him there when I came down with the Avonhorn. So he's still sitting there waiting, but boy, I tell you, I think the Avonhorn's going to be okay. You know, I've seen them in videos where people do tests and they can't pull the weight up high enough or fast enough, but I tell you, when I look at him pulling this weight up, I think he does just fine with the hill that we're on right here. So why should you get something different, right? And we're getting near the top now, I'll tell you. Unless there's, wait a minute, I think there's one more little climb like we just went up. Each climb, as you're going around on the quarries coming out, seems to be a little bit steeper than the one previous. And if that holds true, then this next one's going to be steeper than that rocky ledge that we just went up. Well, we'll take a look. There's a lot of... Now, I heard that if you drive too close to the side of the rocks here, that they break away on you. I never got that close, but that's what I heard. I haven't seen it in my game yet. So, no, it looks like we got one little climb in front of us, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. And we can see the Kenworth up in the distance there, so it looks like we made it out. Now, I did say that when we did this job, we're going to do this job, there's two levels of the difficulty in this job. The first level, or first part, was getting out of the quarry, which we've now accomplished. Now the second part is getting into the logistics center. And you might think, well, that shouldn't be too bad because you're up in the hill now. And it isn't. However, there are a lot of twists and turns in the road. And with the off track, the best thing to do to be able to keep the trailer in the center. Ooh, look at that. Oh, almost lost it there. When you're going over a road that snakes from left to right and back again, the best thing to do is to have the truck go wide on every turn, and that way you'll keep your trailer tires sort of in the center of that snake. Well, that's what we're going to have to try and do as it gets pretty dicey up here. So just bear with me as we're coming. There's our old Kenworth 963, the other big beast in our fleet. I love that truck. Driving that truck is fantastic. There is nothing that truck can do, you know, unless of course where you got to go, it's too small of an area for him because he's such a big truck. But other than that, there's nothing he can do out in the open. But as we're coming up here now, as you can see, the road is starting to snake. And when it does that, all you can do is go wide. But now you can't go too wide, because if you go too wide and you pull it back in, the weight of the trailer might pull your truck over and flip it to the right in this instance. The reason I know that is because I've done that. So I pull my truck in a little bit sooner than I used to. Now you got to go back and do it again on the other side, and but first we got to be able to see, so we have to change the time forward. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I don't like driving in the dark for the main reason that I find it hard to see and it takes away from the beauty of the game. So once it starts to get too dark, rather than turning my headlights on, I just move the light cycle forward. And now it's early in the morning again. So we're going to try and take this corner a little bit wider. I'm trying to get the back end of the trailer over to the left as far as possible. Now, not right here, but a little bit further up ahead, we got to make a really tight right-hand turn. And it's, well, like I said, I'm just trying to move that trailer over as far as I can. Hopefully that'll make it work. Now I got to come off this little bump, obviously, and then I got to try and get around this corner here. And I tell you, sometimes you just got to be glad that you got a twin steer vehicle that you're driving. Because one wheel can go right off the off the rocks, and the other one will still keep you on. I just love that. So here I just try to overshoot the turn a little bit so that I can get those back wheels a little bit closer to around the corner, and then I just back it up and then try it again, pull a little bit further forward. Now I don't know if this is the best way. There might be better ways. I'm certainly not a pro. I just try to do the best I can, and it seems to work for me. So, because you got to get it around this corner. There's just no two ways about it. And that was the worst corner of what this trip is going to be. So it's and one, of course, as soon as you get it around that corner, then you got to turn it back to the left again. They're not going to try and make it easy on the Opafet, but that's okay. You know, there again, I've learned to drive this game really slow, because I find that when you go too fast, I make too many mistakes. And if I do make a mistake, I can't stop and catch myself in time. But when I go slow, I do. So by doing that, I get a better success rate of not flipping the truck, not losing the cargo, not having to recover and drive the whole distance again. You know, it just makes it's a lot more fun when you can accomplish your task. Now, while you're trying to do that, you do have to pay attention to other things as well. I was concentrating so hard on trying to get it around these corners and worrying about the off track and making sure that it isn't going to flip on me, because like I said, I've flipped trailers before and it's just not a lot of fun. I wanted to try and make it in one turn this time. So while doing that, I completely forgot about looking at the fuel tank and the fuel gauge. And you know, there's one thing, it doesn't matter how good your truck is, if you don't give it any fuel, it's not going to move. And this thing now is done. It says it wants a little more. So good thing that we brought along our maintenance compartment. Here we go, with approximately 300 liters. Boom, there we go. Opafet's back in business. Every once in a while you forget about things like that, but that's okay, that doesn't matter. So we fueled her up and now we're almost there. Just got to go through a little bit of a swampy area, and then we're at the logistics center. Well, I tell you, this was a real tough journey. This is a really tough one. And you really have to have patience with some of these journeys, because patience is what will get you through. It'll help you succeed in making a delivery. And you get a great feeling of accomplishment once you do. We are just about done. Absolutely awesome. Really love this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something out of it, whether you were watching it to understand certain things about the quarries, or whether you were just watching it for fun, which is awesome too. Really enjoyed it and hope you did too. Hope to see you back here at Opafet Gaming again real soon. Until then, you've been running through the mud in SnowRunner in an Avonhorn A15 with me, the Opafet.